I cannot. I physically punished my daughter and she died.
Your daughter has died?
I killed my daughter. I killed my daughter.
How have you killed your daughter?
I beat her up. It wasn't my intention to kill her, but I beat her up too much.
On August 10th, 2023, police in Woking, Surrey, made a horrifying discovery. In an abandoned house, they found the body of 10-year-old Sara Sharif, carefully wrapped and left on a battered mattress. Bruises, burns, and signs of prolonged abuse told the story of her unimaginable suffering. Next to her lay a note written by her father, Irfan Sharif. It read, "It's me, Irfan Sharif, who killed my daughter by beating her. I swear to God my intention was not to kill her, but I lost control. I am running away because I'm scared, but I promise I'll turn myself in and accept my punishment." The note ended with the chilling words, "Love you, Sara," a twisted farewell from a man who had failed to protect her. This tragic discovery marked the beginning of a deeply unsettling investigation that revealed a cycle of abuse, neglect, and a family torn apart. Let's take a closer look at Irfan's life and the events leading up to Sara's tragic death. Irfan Sharif was born in 1982 in Jhelum, Pakistan. Jhelum is a city where many families dream of moving abroad, particularly to the UK. For many young men there, reaching the UK is the ultimate goal, often pursued through dangerous or illegal means. But Irfan was one of the lucky few to secure a legal student visa. At 18 in the year 2000, Irfan arrived in the UK. His family was proud, hopeful that he would achieve great things and send money back home. But life in the UK wasn't easy. Moving from his familiar homeland to the bustling streets of Woking, Surrey, was a challenge. Irfan enrolled in a college, but like many immigrants, he wasn't there for an education. His focus was on working and earning enough to support his family in Pakistan, while eventually securing British citizenship. To achieve his dream of staying in the UK, Irfan began searching for a local woman to marry. He even considered paper marriages. In the meantime, Irfan took a job as a taxi driver, a common choice for those needing flexible work. While driving passengers around Surrey, he continued searching for a way to secure his future. In 2009, Irfan met Olga Sharif, a young woman from Poland who had recently moved to the UK. For Irfan, Olga seemed like the perfect opportunity. Their relationship progressed quickly, and within months they were married. For a while, everything seemed perfect. They had a son in 2010, and their little family appeared happy. But soon, cracks began to show in their relationship. Allegations of domestic abuse surfaced early in their marriage. Olga accused Irfan of being violent, controlling, and manipulative. He took over her finances, isolating her from friends and family. Irfan also had a gambling problem, spending long nights betting away their money and driving the family into debt. Their home became a toxic environment filled with fear, arguments, and mistrust. In 2013, their daughter Sara was born. Olga hoped the arrival of their baby girl might bring peace to their family, but instead the tension only grew worse. Around this time, Irfan met another woman, Baynash Batul, who was in her 20s. Baynash had her own troubled past, having experienced honor-based abuse. Irfan quickly became involved with her, offering support and a fresh start. As their relationship deepened, Irfan began planning ways to end his marriage to Olga. He wanted to marry Baynash and take custody of the children. The custody battle that followed was bitter, with both parents accusing each other of being unfit. Despite Irfan's history of violence and gambling, social services eventually granted him custody of Sara and her older brother in 2019. A major factor in this decision was Baynash, who presented herself as a stable stepmother. But life under Irfan's care was anything but stable. Prosecutors later described Sara's time in his home as a campaign of abuse that lasted over 2 years. She was subjected to brutal punishments, often beaten with a belt buckle, a metal rod, or even a cricket bat. The physical abuse left her with burns, bruises, and fractures. Messages between Baynash and her sister revealed that Irfan frequently punished Sara harshly for minor misbehaviors. In one instance, Sara was forced to do sit-ups until she was physically exhausted. Her injuries were often hidden under a hijab, which she wore to school to cover bruises on her face and neck. In April 2023, Urfan took an extreme step to isolate Sara further. He informed her school that she would no longer attend classes and would instead be homeschooled. This decision cut Sara off from teachers and friends who might have noticed the signs of abuse. Neighbors reported hearing screams and sounds of smacking from the family's home, but no one intervened. Sara's cries for help went unheard. On August 8, 2023, Sara's short life came to a brutal end. Evidence showed she had suffered weeks of severe injuries, including blunt force trauma and burns. The day after her death, Urfan made a chilling decision. Instead of mourning his daughter, he began arranging flights to Pakistan for himself, Nash, and other family members. CCTV footage captured them calmly walking through Heathrow Airport, showing no signs of grief or remorse. They boarded a flight to Islamabad, leaving Sara's body behind in the abandoned house. On August 10th, police arrived at the Woking home. Inside, they found Sara's small, lifeless body wrapped in a blanket and left on a bunk bed. Urfan called the UK police from Pakistan. In a calm voice, he admitted to beating Sara, but claimed it was legal punishment.
Take a deep breath and tell me what's happened.
I cannot. I physically punished my daughter and she died.
Your daughter has died?
I killed my daughter.
How have you killed your daughter?
I beat her up. It wasn't my intention to kill her, but I beat her up too much.
His chilling words showed no true remorse, only a desire to justify his actions. For the next 7 weeks, Urfan, Banish, and his brother, Faisal Malik, evaded capture in Pakistan. They moved between safe houses, relying on contacts to stay ahead of law enforcement. Pakistani police conducted multiple raids but were unable to catch them. Fearing Pakistan's slow and corrupt justice system, the fugitives eventually decided to return to the UK. On September 13, 2023, they boarded a flight from Pakistan to Dubai and then to the UK. When they landed at Gatwick Airport, UK police were waiting. Urfan, Banish, and Faisal were arrested on suspicion of murder. On September 15, 2023, the three were officially charged with Sara's murder. They pleaded not guilty despite the overwhelming evidence against them. As the trial began in October 2024, at the Old Bailey in London, shocking details emerged. Urfan admitted to beating Sara, but claimed he never intended to kill her. He blamed his actions on frustration, trying to paint himself as a father who lost control rather than a cold-blooded abuser. Meanwhile, Baynash's defense claimed she was a victim of Urfan's coercion, describing him as controlling and violent. She alleged that she was trapped in an abusive relationship and that her role in Sara's death was unintentional. Despite these claims, the prosecution argued that both Urfan and Baynash were equally responsible for the prolonged abuse Sara endured. Faisal, too, was accused of being complicit, having lived in the same home where the abuse took place. Sara's biological mother, Olga Sharif, has been vocal about her heartbreak. She fought to keep custody of Sara and her brother, but in 2019, a court awarded custody to Urfan. She expressed frustration at how the system failed her children. Despite clear signs of abuse, no one intervened in time to save Sara. As the trial continues, the world watches, hoping for justice for Sara. Finally, on the 17th of December 2024, after a 10-week trial at the Central Criminal Court in London, Sara Sharif and Banish Batul were sentenced to life imprisonment.
I now come to the sentences. Sara Sharif, Banish Batul and Faisal Malik, stand up. Sara Sharif, for the murder of Sara Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment for life. Taking account of all the relevant circumstances and the aggravating mitigating factors that I have set out, the minimum term will be 40 years. Banish Batul, for the murder of Sara Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment for life. Taking account of all the relevant circumstances and the aggravating and mitigating factors that I have set out, the minimum term will be 33 years, less the time that you have spent on remand.
But no sentence can undo the years of suffering this young girl endured or heal the pain of those who loved her. Let Sarah's story serve as a wake-up call. If you see signs of abuse, speak out. Together we can prevent tragedies like this from happening again.